All right, Steve, we are on the air.
Hello, it's Big Steve Parrish, and today I'm just going to start reminiscing on some old photos I found of the European tour that we took in 1972. This picture was taken at Wembley Pool in a truck that we had rented over there. Now, you don't see the driver of the truck because he's always was on a telephone all the time we were there, and he only came out when we had to drag him into the truck to move it or something this way or that. Now, this is sitting in the Wembley Stadium where we played. And of course, the guys in the crew decided it would be a good time to flip off the camera. Now, in this picture here, you've got everybody on the crew at the time. And we've got Dan Healy starting here from the right, Sonny Hurd, Rex Jackson, Sam Cutler, um, Kid Candelario up top here. That's me not flipping anybody off. And Joe Winslow and Ramrod over here. And that's the important people you need to know in that picture. And we were just sitting all on top of the gear and ready to unload that truck in a minute. That's really one of the only pictures we all took at that time or place. Now, here's Sam Cutler. Now, Sam has to have a special shot in this Europe 72. He was road manager and he designed and booked the whole tour. And we started off in his hometown of London. And, you know, we immediately, when we landed there, we got off the bus and started walking around in front of the Kensington Hotel. And Dan Healy and I, we didn't even say a word to each other. We just took off and started walking down the Kensington High Street. And we walked for about a mile or two and didn't say a word. It was the strangest thing. It felt like we'd been there before. Our whole lives, we read about London. We knew about London. We saw it in movies. We heard stories about it. And there we were. And it was the strangest thing that we'd been there before. And the more I thought about it, it made me feel like a connection to the continent right away. And so we didn't feel like we were lost or anything. We walked around that area of the Kensington High Street, which is a big London thoroughfare, and we felt just so comfortable. We came back to the Kensington Palace Hotel. Give me another picture. And the way that it went was, here's Jerry wearing his typical European outdoors attire with his leather jacket that he had a couple of leather jackets with him on that tour. And there he is playing the alligator, which it didn't become the alligator till later. The alligator sticker would be right there underneath the pickups down in this picture, but we didn't put it on till a gig in London when we came back to London later in the tour. We got and Sonny Hurd, who you just saw in that other picture, came back, went out, came back with the alligator sticker for that guitar. We also had the tiger guitar with us, excuse me, the wolf guitar with us on this trip, but it was seldom played because we were dialing it in at the time. Another picture, please. And this one here is a show up in northern Great Britain, up at a place called Bickershaw. Now, Bickershaw was wild. It was a big, big show, and it went on and on. And when you looked way out in the crowd, it was such a large outdoor stadium that you could see people doing, motorcycle daredevil tricks on high wire walkers and all kinds of carnival stuff at the back. But the audience was amazing. And of course, we were way up in Northumberland, and there you see me directly behind Jerry at the monitor board there, and I think I'm smoking a good sized joint there. We had brought some marijuana with us. Almost got caught at the airport with us, but we didn't. And they went over our stuff pretty good at Heathrow, and we stood there and we did everything they asked, and we had to pull out the case that had our clean and ground up. We cleaned a pound of weed, actually 2 pounds, one for each month because we went there for 2 months. And so everybody got a little film can every day on the bus. We had 2 buses that we got in London. And so we sort of split up into 2 groups. And Hunter, who went back and forth between the 2 buses, decided that we were the Bozo bus and the Bolo bus. The reason the Bozo bus was because before we left New York, I stopped off and bought a bunch of costumes, masks. We had all kinds of rubber masks and Bozo masks. And so that's where the whole Bozo theme started coming out. And I recently went out in my barn. I still had all this stuff in a bag, but it got some UV light had hit it and it melted. I was so sad because I kept them for all those years, and I thought I should have kept them in a little better condition. But here's Jerry wearing his Bozo mask in Copenhagen. And let me have another picture here. I think you'll see that Bobby, he had some of the other stuff I bought, those glasses, the Marx Brothers mustache. Here I am on the Bozo bus in the back where Jerry hung out back there. We'd obviously come, we're leaving Copenhagen because I got that sweater in Copenhagen, and I'm smoking one of the joints that we had every morning. We smoked, and it was a lot more relaxed smoking over there than it was in America. Even we never really got in much trouble for it. We got to be a little careful, and we did get in some scrapes with the law over smoking everywhere, but it wasn't quite the same as in the States where we were committing felonies. Here's Jerry in his hotel room at the Kensington Palace, and that's Rock Scully on the bed in the back there in the background, and they're just posing for Marianne Mayer, who I believe took most of this picture. She traveled with us and was a dear friend of ours and went on this whole tour with us. Yeah. And she took some great pictures of it. Now, here's a shot of us on the North Sea ferry as we were leaving England. And there you see Kreutzmann, Jerry, myself, Mountain Girl, and Sonny Hurd in the back there. You know, we were traveling on this boat. We went overnight. This is when we first got on. We were up on the top deck. It was a little chilly crossing the North Sea that night, but it was a lot of fun. The food was great. We had our own little cabins, everybody did. And we brought 50 people with us, don't forget. We had our girlfriends, our wives, our kids. No, not too many kids came. It was mostly adults on the trip. And it was a lot of fun. It was one of the greatest trips we ever took because we were so fresh and so new to everything. And Sam left time for us to travel everywhere across Europe, Western Europe. And we got enough time to go sightseeing and to go see stuff in every town we went to. This is just part one right here. I'm going to do reminiscence on that whole tour. It's worthy of a couple of different things that happened and different people. Give me another shot, please. Now, here is my beloved Pigpen. He was on the tour, of course, with us. And so were Keith and Donna. They were moving in, and Keith was playing more piano. And this is the organ that we brought. We had a little bit of trouble because it's 50 cycle and 60 cycle electricity difference in Europe and America. And so our organs were a little bit sluggish. We had to get a variac so we could adjust the voltage. And Pigpen, when that light hit him, as sick as he was sick on that whole tour, man. And he sat in the back, he laid across all the seats in the back of the Bozo bus. And he kibitzed and laughed and joked around with us, and he was in good spirits, but boy, he was hurting. And he was not feeling well. But as soon as he got on stage and that light hit him, he went and became the blues master that he was, man. And what a great performer and what a great guy. And yeah. All right. Let me see another picture if we have any. We don't? Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of part one of our European sojourn. And we were doing something on this tour that I've talked about before, and that is that due to an accident, Owsley was in prison, and so he entrusted Ramrod with our dose of liquid LSD, and due to a mistake, it was 10 times stronger, which we didn't find out till well after the tour was over. It came up because everybody was taking their usual amount, and that was 10 times more than you normally would. So we had a lot of great fun and laughing sessions on days off as we took these massive psychedelic doses and traveled around Europe. And we'll talk about all that as we go on because we're going to go almost country by country. But London was so great. We had a great time there. Our driver, Mick was his name. Before we even left London, the police came and arrested him. He was he was taking bookings on horses, and he was always on the phone in this uh, phone booth that was right there almost where the truck was parked. The stage was down this little hallway from there, and he was gone. And so then we had to put our guys and Winslow in the truck, and Joe Winslow drove it from that point on, and we had to get it over to France. So we had a lot of things to figure out. But I'll leave you with this one thing. As we were in Wembley Pool playing, this guy came running up on stage. I grabbed him and stopped him. I said, "Wait a minute, who are you?" And he said, "I'm Roland. I've just taken the midnight train from Paris." And I got to say, "Oh, good. Well, you better put it back." It was a great time to use that line. That was an old silly thing that we did. But he became our liaison for the rest of France where we were heading. And the shows there. He just wanted to come and meet us and see our setup and everything. And we had a lot of fun in London on that wild night, man, as all kinds of people came to the show. And we had a lot of interesting celebrities, some nefarious people. Christine Keeler, for those who were alive back then when the Profumo scandal happened. She was quite a lively gal, and she brought a couple of her girlfriends, and it was a pretty crazy night in London. And there's lots more side stories, but that's all for today. And thank you all for listening. Going to do more of these from just pictures and reminiscences from the tour and give you more details. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. I would like to tell you something, though. This is something so good, a product that I'm repping for the Garcia family. This is Jerry Garcia CBD. These are the broad spectrum CBD gummies, peach flavored. They're delicious. These, when you see the blue hand of Jerry, that is the nighttime gummies for sleep, and they work for real. They work really good. And both are available in a tincture that works really good. It's all natural, really fine products, continuing Jerry's belief that that is the best way to be, is to help people with a good product, a pure product. And this is the sleep drops. One other thing there is an incredible pain cream that comes out of the CBD. There's thousands of cannabinoids in every cannabinoid. And always remember, when you see that hand on there and the Jerry Garcia name, then you've got the real deal. Have a great day and talk to you later. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe